Good afternoon.
Morning, afternoon.
I made sure I checked before I started.
Did you?
Obviously the work continues on the penalty kill given the results. Just wait till that goes by.
Oiler flags.
Can you just tell us, what areas you're still trying to solve here and how the guys are reacting to it? Because I'm wondering if some doubt is creeping in.
Well, we're working on the whole thing, but we're breaking it down into different parts and segments just to clarify, making some adjustments or changes, answering questions, and trying to build up the confidence while we do it.
So, I know you said last night it sucks the life out of us. Do you sense that doubt in game when you take a penalty?
Not when we take a penalty. When we take a penalty, we're a little apprehensive because we're not sure what's going to come. But once we get scored on, if that occurs, then it definitely sucks some of the energy out of the group. And you can get by on 1, 2, it pretty much drains you. At 3, you're empty. And that was the case last night.
Todd, you've had a couple of practices now where primary folks have been on the PK for obvious reasons. Can you discuss maybe the dynamic with the coaching staff in terms of, you generally have assistants that run point on each special team, but when something like this happens and when it gets to where it is, does everybody start to pitch in a little bit more? Does it become more yours?
Well,
how does that work?
The common process in hockey has become, you hire, you have a head coach, you hire other coaches that take care of certain aspects of the game, kind of that football model, offensive, defensive, special teams, that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, the head coach is responsible for the performance of the group, no matter what the assignments are for the assortment of coaches on the exterior of that. And that's the case here. We have individuals that review it and get rid of the garbage, because there's a lot of garbage in the game. Why are we wasting our time with this or that? But when it comes down to review of our team play, our special teams play, once the garbage is eliminated, we all sit together and we discuss things. So it's a group effort.
Todd, if your power play was going like it was last year, though, at 5th, would it be such a problem if your penalty killing was not? If the power play was still scoring and dangerous, then would that, your worry would not be as, but the power play not going.
We'd still be worried. Power plays don't run, what's our penalty kill at home now, 50%? Power plays don't run at 50%. It doesn't matter how good or how hot it is. So our penalty kill would still greatly concern me.
What about playing the Ducks for the first time after the playoffs? I think that will give your team, the way you've lost 4 in a row, at least a jolt. This is the team we played in the playoffs.
Well, every game should be that jolt that we need. Obviously, the rivalry exists somewhat with Anaheim. They were the last team we played late in the spring. Big fire. Last team we played in the spring. So, looking at last night's game, when you compare Winnipeg and Los Angeles, this is a little off topic, but the effort, the competition level, things that we asked them to do for the first 2 periods were right there. Once the penalty kill debacle occurred, well, then it fell off a little bit, but if we get that type of effort consistently through the game, we'll give ourselves a chance to win. It's fixing some things on the special team situation, specifically the penalty kill, that will help us and give us some energy. So that can be Anaheim-based, it could be Dallas, it could be Chicago, and wherever else we go over the next little bit.
Todd, you mentioned your penalty kill, obviously your major concern. Your power play for the last 20 games is 11%. You've kind of kept the 4 forwards intact on your first unit. You've switched up defense here or there. I know you tried Nugent Hopkins in the 3rd period, maybe because Patty was out on the wing. would you look at changing the personnel just to try some different looks? Because when you see the opposing power play, Mark Letestu on both feels that right now your power play maybe hangs on that split second too long, and the opposing teams, because they're smelling blood, they're moving the puck and getting your penalty killers all out of focus. Do you just need quicker movement on your power play? Because I think you're the best zone entry team in the league right now in the power play, but once you're set up, not much is happening.
And I think you're accurate there. You know, in saying that, obviously our focus right now is so much on that penalty kill that we'll address and work on the power play, you know, as a sidebar. There's some options that we can have. Obviously, Patty Maroon's probably not going to be, well, we don't know if he'll be involved in the game or not tomorrow. Once we hear how the hearing went, and there'll be a roster change there or a positional change on the power play. But I would say that I think you said Test brought that up. I think he's accurate. We have the ability to enter the zone. We have the ability to set up. It's what happens next. And sometimes we're looking for the perfect play. Sometimes we shoot, we don't have the screen, or else we're screening and stopping, and it's just not clicking at the smoothness or the efficiency that we would like. So we'll look at that as well.
So Todd, sort of along those lines, you touched on it a bit, but is there a mentality that you would like the power play players to adopt that they haven't quite adopted or not quite executed? And I'm kind of referencing shot volume here and getting the puck to the net as early as possible.
Yeah, and I think that you guys have asked good questions, but you've answered them while you've asked them today. So yes.
Todd, just back here. This isn't about the power play.
Good, are you going to answer it?
Well, Thurs had a real kind of strong comment just discussing how there's such a great belief in, you know, despite what's happening, there's a big belief in the room that you'll get out of this. He said, even if people outside the room don't believe that. And I wonder, as coach, what you sort of your pulse is like when you spend time with the players, practice in a way, what you're sensing from them in their belief system.
Well, the belief system is one of the most important systems a team can have. We can talk about power play, penalty kill, all that type of stuff, but you've got to believe in what you're doing, and you got to believe that you can make the system play, the line combinations, the partners work. You can't poke holes in it. You got to find ways to mend it, and our belief system has taken a bit of a hit, certainly in the penalty kill area, and that has an effect. When we started here 3 years ago, one of the things that we talked about right off the bat was building that up and making it stronger and holding your hand a little bit longer. We're going to have to lean on that a little bit right now. But the players today, I met with one of them last night after the game, and I said, you know what, there hasn't been many times when I left the rink and wasn't completely clear where we were going to go the next morning. Last night was one of them. I used to spend a lot of time sitting in my chair at home trying to think it through. You know, how we were going to approach the group, what type of delivery it was going to be. Was it going to be individual, team, what the practice was going to look like, where we were going to focus our energy. Usually when I'm stepping into my car and leaving the rink, win or lose, despite the effort, I have a pretty good, clear vision of where it's going. It took me a while last night, and part of that had to go to the belief system. There's a lot of guys that were down last night, and rightfully so. But you only get to pout for a little while, and then you got to get back up and pull yourself out of the mud and get going again. And that was a message I delivered early in practice today. I thought, again, they showed up and they worked.
Todd, Connor doesn't have a point in 3 games the first time in his NHL career, but did you guys waste the first 2 periods where he was setting people up, skating, doing everything he should have been doing, maybe some of the other guys should have been doing, and he got nothing out of it?
You know, waste is a harsh word. We had some opportunities that were on our tape and we didn't finish. And, you know, we can't base that just on Connor's game. He played tremendous offensively. He's created opportunities for other players over the last few games, and that was mentioned again by you guys after the game. And yes, there has to be some finish there, but you know, it can't just be 97 on the offensive side of the puck creating chances. There's got to be more from other key people that create.